Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome, all of you, to the third edition of Better Your English, hosted by SN Alumni. Now, in this third edition, I am concentrating upon two words which are used all over the world as a unit, as an indicator word to show the measure of temperature. One word that we usually use or hear in common English parlance is Celsius. CELSIUS. Or otherwise, it is sometimes commonly used as centigrade. 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 But there is another third word which is more popular in the United States of America, that is Fahrenheit. FAHRENHEIT. FAHRENHEIT, which is pronounced as Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit. Now let us take Celsius in the first module. Now, what is the difference between Celsius, centigrade, and Fahrenheit? Let us see. We'll take in this first module Celsius. Celsius actually is an official name for the common English generic word for temperature measurement, centigrade. Centigrade is a common word. It has nothing to do with a proper noun or the name of any person. Now look at this very interesting thing happening with regard to this word. You can use Celsius as an official name, or else the word centigrade, which is a very common word for a measure of temperature, that could be used within the metric system. But in the 18th century, during the period 1701 to 1744, there was a scientist, Anders Celsius, ANDERS, Celsius, CELSIUS. So we have this word Celsius derived from this scientist who had done quite a lot of work on the measurement of temperature. So he, Anders Celsius, actually had conceived or had devised a scale of measurement which begins with 0 degree and then goes up to 100 degrees. And that degree is named after, that degree of temperature is named after this scientist as a matter of honor by English language. And Celsius as a unit of temperature is gradually getting popular in Britain, Australia, and other English-speaking countries. And it is slowly, Celsius is slowly replacing the American word Fahrenheit. But it should be noted that in older kitchen stoves, on the advertisements and in the manual of older kitchen stoves, STOVES, in Malayalam says stove, stoves and cookery books, we have the calibration, the measurement in degrees Fahrenheit. In the United States, temperature is still measured on the Fahrenheit scale. But the name Celsius is preferred to the metric name centigrade as a token of respect, as a mark of regard for the scientist Anders Celsius. Now, there are so many scientific eponyms. Please take note of this word eponym, EPONYM. So many scientific eponyms like Celsius, which appear without an initial capital letter. Sometimes you can use it, sometimes in some books we find the capital letter when it comes to written language, I mean. But there is no kind of hard and fast rule that you should be using the capital letter. If you want to give more respect to Anders Celsius, to his Holy Spirit, so to speak, you can use Celsius with a capital C, but nobody is going to penalize you if you use the small c or the C in the lower case. Now, in the second module of this edition, let me share some points about Fahrenheit. Though the word Fahrenheit is usually pronounced as Fahrenheit, it is the exact pronunciation as per the Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary is Fahrenheit. Now, Fahrenheit is used more commonly in the United States of America, Canada, and to a certain extent in the United Kingdom, that is England. But in Canada and the United Kingdom, that is England, this word Fahrenheit is progressively being replaced by centigrade or Celsius. Fahrenheit temperatures are marked and measured in relation to the lowest temperature that Gabriel Fahrenheit, the scientist who lived during the period 1686 to 1736. 1686 to 1736. That means he is a 17th and 18th century, or you can say is an 18th century scientist who devised a new system of measuring the temperatures, and he mixed ice water and certain salts, and he devised it in an altogether different way, by which he arrived at the freezing point of pure water at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And the boiling point, according to the Fahrenheit system of measurement, the freezing point of water is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and the boiling point of pure water is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the so-called comfort zone for an air conditioner, if you are having an air conditioner at home and the air conditioner is calibrated according to the Fahrenheit, the comfort zone ranges between 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Not I don't mean the Celsius. In Celsius, it is entirely different. It would be somewhere between, say, 18 degrees and 23 or 24 degrees Celsius. But we all continue to measure temperatures with Mercury Thermometer. Mercury Thermometer, which was invented centuries ago by Fahrenheit. It still remains more reliable for many purposes. But whatever it is a very scientific term which we have to be very careful while using. Those of us who use this in our daily language or daily parlance have to be very careful about the differences, the two differences in the system. But I understand, going by some of the reference material, that there is a formula, arithmetic formula for converting the Fahrenheit temperature into Celsius temperature, which is part of the arithmetic discipline, which we need not discuss here. It is, I think, if the people of the arithmetic discipline, the people who are more expert, who are better poised or better well versed or better versed in arithmetic, will be able to tell us more about the conversion. We are not bothered about conversion, we are bothered about the English usage. Now coming to module number 3 of the third edition. I don't know how many of you exactly have noticed the word eponym which I used in the course of my presentation of the earlier modules 1 and 2. Somewhere I had used the word eponym. Now don't worry about that. EPONYM. Eponym means a common word in English which is derived from the proper name of a person. A common word in English which is derived from a proper name, from the name of a person in usual cases in any language. So that is called eponym. There are hundreds of words in English language which have been formed as a common noun from after its derivation, after their derivation from the names of certain persons. Let us try to look at it very briefly. This is a very huge area of language studies, eponym. But I am very brief. I will come to the point in a very brief way. Maybe when I get a chance later, we will discuss more about very interesting stories about eponyms. Now, some people gain popularity when their name becomes the byword or the common word for a product or a practice. The best example that I can give you, the most common example that I can give you is the word sandwich. SANDWICH. Actually, the word sandwich means any light portable lunch. But actually, this light portable lunch is associated with a British man, the Earl of Sandwich, who lived during the period 1718 to 1792. There could be a lot of stories. It could be maybe this man has been practicing when he was alive, practicing light eating in the afternoon or when he was traveling from one place to another. But that story I will tell you later on, because if we tell that story, then this language item called eponym will not be completed in this edition. Similarly, there are so many eponyms. Braille, BRAILLE. It's a French name which actually is an eponymous name for the tactile system. Tactile system means touch system, which is used by the visually challenged people, which enables the visually challenged people to read any kind of material. But actually the Braille system, the Braille kind of script was invented by the French man Louis Braille, who lived during the period 1809 to 1852. Similarly, there is a very interesting word, grog, Grog. Actually, the word grog is a nickname which was given to a ship captain, Admiral Edward Vernon, Vernon, who lived during the period 1684 to 1757. And this admiral had a very unpleasant, or was making use of an unpleasant tactic. He was adding water to the sailors' rum and stealing the rum for himself. So he diluted the rum of the sailors maybe every evening, and he saved the stolen rum for himself. But slowly, this nickname, grog, the sailors were using using the name grog for this diluted rum, and it became a nickname for Edward Vernon. But today, this word grog is used as a derogatory term for spurious liquor, low quality liquor in Australia and New Zealand. And actually, the word grog is a nickname of this Admiral Edward Vernon. And look at the way how this nickname has traveled from the sailing community to the common parlance of English language. Now, in science, there are a large number of eponyms. Eponyms derived from the names of scientists. Ampere is the name of a scientist. Then Ohm will be known to all the physics students. Ohm's law. Pascal's law. Watt, you see it on the electric bulbs that you have. WATT, watt. So these are all units, different units of measurement, and they are all named after scientists of different Western countries. But one thing which is noticeable is that eponymous words or eponyms need not necessarily be capitalized. We need not use when we have these eponyms in written language, they need not begin with a capital letter, because they have become part of the common parlance and they have become common nouns. There are so many eponyms in English language. Chauvinism, you have male chauvinism, again part of the eponym paradigm. Spoonerism, choriche malliga, marichu jolliga ennu parayum. That is named after Spooner, who was an expert in inverting the word order and creating new words. Pasteurizing the milk. So that is named after the scientist Pasteur. Sadism, നമ്മൾ സാഡിസം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് മറ്റൊരാളെ വേദനിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് സ്വയം ആസ്വാദനം കണ്ടെത്തുന്ന ആൾക്കാരെയാണ് സെയ്ഡിസം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. നമ്മൾ സാഡിസം എന്ന് മാർക്വിസ് ഡി സെയ്ഡ് എന്നുള്ള ആളെ സാഹിത്യകാരനെ വെച്ചുകൊണ്ടാണ്. നിക്കോട്ടിൻ, NICOTINE. പിന്നെ ടാൻറ്റലൈസ് ഒക്കെ മിത്തോളജി എന്നുള്ള ക്യാരക്ടറാണ് ടാൻറ്റലൈസ്. അങ്ങനെ ഒരുപാട് ആളുകളുടെ പേരുകൾ, സോ മെനി നെയിംസ് ഓഫ് ഗ്രേറ്റ് പേഴ്സൺസ് ഓർ ഈവൻ ഓർഡിനറി പേഴ്സൺസ് ഹാവ് ബിക്കം words in English language, and today they are called eponyms. Thank you everyone for your patient listening to this third edition of Better Your English, hosted by SN Alumni. Goodbye. Have a nice Sunday, all of you.